Welcome back to Radically Rational Radio. In this episode, Kennedy brings us a new Gallup poll showing why channels like mine exist. Let's jump into it.
A new Gallup poll shows 49% of U.S. adults say they identify as independent. Rare. That's nearly double the percentage that identify as either Democrat or Republican. Very interesting. Is this proof people are sick and tired of the two-party duopoly, Spike?
The problem is twofold. First of all, the Republicans and Democrats do everything they can to fight to keep their competition off the ballot. There are some states where the Republicans and Democrats only need like 25 ballot access signatures to be allowed on the ballot, but their competitions, like the Libertarian Party, have to get 50,000 signatures, even in races where there aren't even 50,000 votes they need to get to win the race. So there are many examples like that, but there's a bigger and more pervasive problem, and that's the good cop, bad cop routine that the Republicans and Democrats play, where they play good cop to their base, but more importantly, they play bad cop to the other base and fire them up to vote against them, thereby preserving the two-party system. It's called negative partisanship. And what happens is, if you look at the most recent polling on any of the elections in the past couple decades, people are more likely to say they voted against the Republican or against the Democrat than for the party that they voted for, the candidate that they voted for. And so what happens is, even if they support the Libertarian Party or the Green Party or Constitution Party or Independent or something like that, they're still going to be more likely to vote for whatever party they see, which of the two parties they see to be the lesser evil, in order to stop the greater evil. And of course, as we know, if you keep voting for evil, you just get incrementally more evil, and that's the situation we're in.
Yeah,
people need to realize
really
that both the good cop and the bad cop are both cops.
So, Juan, it's interesting because in the past, there might have been more true independents in the 50s and 60s. Like,
well, you hit it on the head. These are young people. It's not the case that the seniors are somehow becoming more independent. It's young people who, by the way, they don't follow politics, they don't watch the news, listen to the news, read the papers, and they're less likely to vote. I mean, so, there's this talk of young people being increasingly independent, but that's if they vote,
well,
and
let's
right
Katie
now
Pavlich.
they don't even vote.
Katie she's not even 25.
I think it has to do that people are more identifying more as independents because they're defined by more single issue votes. So, for example, we're seeing this a lot with the abortion issue among young people, but you see it among older people with the economy. That's what they vote on. And if you ask them, if they're part of a political party, they're not necessarily political people, but they do vote on certain issues. So people like to identify as independent. Also, it sounds nice. Like, I'm just independent. I'm not going along with the rest of the political system.
Katie, Juan, and Spike, lovely night. Thank you all.
That piece had a couple of solid points. One thing you've got to love about Kennedy is each panelist has a point, and they are all varied. We'll just take them in order. Point one, regardless of what this poll says, the deck is stacked against anyone who isn't a Democrat or a Republican, period. Not enough people are aware of that, and if you are an independent and you don't know how much the scales are tipped against you, that is definitely an injustice that they need to be made aware of, so that way we can start invoking a real change. Point two, 100% these people are not voting consistently or in any real measurable number to where it could actually affect the Democrat and Republican people who are voting. People are politically independent and politically lazy. They don't vote. They just whine, no matter what. Point three, more than ever, people have become single voter issues. The people who have that kind of political drive are very dangerous for two reasons. Many countries fail because a populist leader can come in through a single issue and just drive a large enough amount of people to it to vote. So having people who are single voter issues is incredibly dangerous, because populism very rarely works. And the bigger, more dangerous part is single issue voters believe wholeheartedly that the government and laws and the moral and legal right to force against people who don't agree with. Anytime a law is created, all you are doing is creating more criminals. And if this law is nonviolent, now you've made a bunch of people who have never hurt or aggressed someone criminals. Single voter issues are incredibly dangerous. So we should be grateful that they don't actually vote, but they are easily swayed. The biggest point here is we need to let independent voters know, if you're going to be passionate about something, be passionate about the fact that you can't actually vote for another party other than Republican or Democrat. So how independent are you? If we can get them riled up on that and vote that in, then I think we can actually have a fair playing field. These independent youths who are looking to hate every side, they can be mobilized to at least change the laws to allow other parties to come in, and then let's see what happens. I hope you learned something. I'm Tristan. This is Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Stay resilient.